Hey everybody, Brett from AstartesGaming here, back with another Ghost Recon Wildlands character creation tutorial video. Last time around, we did a request in the form of Captain Price from Call of Duty Modern Warfare. The whole series, we just kind of picked one look that he had. And today we're going to be doing another request, specifically the operator from the main promotional material of Tom Clancy's The Division. And so this guy is pretty generic looking. He does have some stuff that we will not be able to replicate entirely, but we're going to do our best to make that happen. So let's go ahead and get started here. The first thing we want to do is get into the head details. And he does not have any obvious facial hair, so we're going to put it back to none. Now, the face that I've chosen for my personal character does have some stubble, and I think that is pretty well fitting. Choose whatever face you think looks best. I, of course, am stuck with this face because this is the one I chose for my initial character creation. But always, as always, choose whatever one you like the best. Choose whatever you think fits the best. But just know that you will be stuck with that face once you have created your character. As far as hair goes, he's wearing a beanie. You can't really see his hair, so I'm going to leave it squared away. Shaved would be fine. Pretty much anything that's not going to stick out from under the beanie would be fine. So I'll leave it there. Hair color wise, something dark. I'll go with brown for mine. Facial detail, I don't think he has any obvious scars, so I probably wouldn't bother with any of these. As I always mention though, if you want them to look a little bit more war-torn and battle scarred, you could always go with this one because it looks fresh. It looks like they've just been in combat, and it's kind of a nice touch. But I will be leaving mine blank. Now, body details. He's wearing long sleeves, so we don't know whether or not he has any tattoos. I would probably say not to bother unless you really want them. But for this build, they won't be visible anyways, so I'm not going to put any. And then as far as facial paint's concerned, they are in an urban environment. He's not wearing any face paint, but it's your character. Do what you would like. I would say if you're going to use any of them, Commando is probably the most fitting. But again, he's not wearing any, and so I won't be using any here. Clothing wise, this is where it gets difficult because the top that would be best representative of how he looks is actually the leather jacket or the bomber jacket, neither of which are unlocked by default. You actually have to purchase these. So we're going to do our best to work around that and try to create this character without having to purchase anything. So I would probably suggest that you go with the standard jacket. And then we need to make it sort of passable with leather. And so to that end, I think the coyote brown is a pretty good color, but let's see if there are any others that might fit better. My guess is probably not. Yeah, so I would say coyote brown is about as close as we're going to get there. And then his vest is pretty lightweight. The thing is, he wears it open, or he wears his jacket open. And so while the Molly harness might be the most closely resembling it, I would probably do something that covers that up just to sort of make up for the fact that we can't exactly have his jacket open. So let's go with, this looks kind of futuristic and modern, so let's go with this one. And I need to check the color on that. Yeah, so looking back at it, the thing that he's wearing is more of just like a satchel with a couple of belt pouches than it is an actual vest. And so this one's going to be kind of tricky. I think I'm going to go with the Molly harness just because that is probably the closest thing we can do. There really isn't anything close to it in this game. And the vests themselves look too heavy. Although I do think they look better than the Molly harness on the jacket because the front of the jacket is very plain. So I think I'm actually going to do the Tactec plate carrier here. But take your pick. I think the Molly harness, again, is the closest and most representative of what he's wearing, but it's still not very close. And so I'm I'm gonna err on the rule of cool and take the one that looks the best to me, and I think it'll be something like this. Color wise, it needs to not be too close to the jacket. I think black is too dark though. Coyote brown is the same color, and I think that's too light. So this is actually a pretty tough one. Is there any green, like very subtle green colors? That's actually not too bad. We'll do olive drab here. And then as far as his pants go, he's actually wearing jeans. And so there are a couple of options here. We do not want the ones without knee pads. So you can use jeans B, or if you've unlocked in the rewards store, these ones you don't have to pay for. These are unlocked with rewards points from playing the game. So tactical knee pads. I'm going to go with this one here, but the jeans B will work just as good. I just think that the tactical knee pads look a little bit closer to what he's wearing. And then his jeans are blue jeans. They're not like black or anything. So we'll leave it at that. Footwear wise, we want hiking shoes in a fairly light color, although it doesn't really seem to make a difference. So we'll leave it at sandstone. And so that's it for his outfit. Now if we go into accessories, eyewear, he's actually not wearing any. So we're going to get rid of any that he might be wearing. In this case, we didn't have any. Face wear. He's not wearing an neck scarf. He's actually wearing a hoodie under like a leather jacket. But we can't exactly do that here. So I would say probably go with the neck scarf. And you can make it green or leave it white. I think green will look better. It'll accent the vest. But again, he does have sort of like the hood from a hooded sweatshirt underneath his jacket protruding. And to sort of replicate that, we want something up around his neck. And I think this is probably as close as we'll get. Headwear. This one's actually a lot easier to do. He's wearing a beanie. It doesn't look knit, so I would probably go with the polar fleece beanie, but the watch cap would be fine as well. Decide which one you think looks better. I'm going to go with the polar fleece one here, and the important thing is that it is a very dark color, so we'll go with black. Earpiece. He's wearing just a regular earpiece. He doesn't have any obvious headset, so I think the earpiece is the most fitting. The color doesn't matter because you'll probably never see it, so I would just do black. Handwear. He's wearing dark gloves, so as long as you do, I would say anything that's not the fingerless ones would probably be fine here. How do the Nomex ones look? I think that's a pretty good look, because again, the game's set in New York, so very cold. You want him to look like he's dressed warm, and to me the Nomex gloves look like they would be warm as opposed to these that look like they would be more breathable. So I'll go with those in black. And as far as the backpack is concerned, I think that the drone or the ANPRC are going to be the best or most fitting. They look a lot like what the characters in the Division wear, but you can pretty much throw on whatever you want here. So take your pick, whatever backpack you think looks most fitting. I find the drone to be kind of immersive because obviously your character is carrying a drone, so you can't really go wrong with that one, but in this case I don't think you can really go wrong with any of them. So we'll stick with the drone, and then we're going to try to match the color to his vest, so we want the olive drab. And patches. I would probably go with a Ghost Recon skull here, but you can do whatever you want. American flag. I don't think it really matters too much. So we'll do the Ghost Recon in orange that stands out nicely. And that's pretty much it. So we did our best to replicate the character, or he's not really a character, he's just sort of like the representation of what your character might be in the Division promo stuff. Again, we couldn't really match his jacket very well because it is like a leather jacket that's open. Underneath it, he's got a hoodie, and then he's wearing like a cross strap from shoulder to hip, and then a belt that has some pouches on it. And that's not really a thing in this game. In fact, it's not a thing in this game. So we sort of took some creative liberties with it, but we tried to match the colors as best we could and make him look like he would be warm in a frozen New York, and have plenty of stuff to, you know, carry all of his little gadgets and whatnot. But anyways, here is our character for the Division. I hope you guys found this video informative and helpful. And do not forget that if you have any suggestions or requests of your own, feel free to drop them in the comments below. I thank you very much for watching, and I will see you guys next time.